Oh, that light back there. Is that you?
Probably.
You gotta turn your sound off. I'll take this one. How's it going, guys? Can you hear me good? I hope so. We'll just give her a minute here for a few people to jump on. Sorry if that light in the background there bugs you guys. I turned this one off, so that's why it's kind of dark in here. So tonight we're going to just chat a little bit about upcoming trapping season and hunting season. That's what it's going to be mainly geared towards. Not saying that we won't get into a little bit of farm talk or something like that as we usually do, but just the way she goes. So how's everybody doing tonight? I know here it's it's been a bit of a rainy day. How's it going, Ball? Oh, I guess I got to stay in line with that light. It is going good here. Like I was going to say, it's been a pretty rainy day. Right now it's actually pouring rain outside. I don't know. Probably getting what? A couple millimeters an hour anyway. Tubby Guy Outdoors, Wyatt, brother, how's it going? Is my internet messed up, Bull, or does it mean yours? Let me know if my the video is crappy. Jess is saying it looks okay, other than the guy that's on there. Yeah, so crappy day outside, raining crazy out there right now, which kind of sucks because we've had more than enough rain in the last week. The ground is absolutely saturated. So farm-wise, that really sucks because, yeah, trying to do stuff out there right now, you're just making ruts and everything's just a mess. But that's just the way she goes. And on the other end of it, we put out 3 muskrat traps this morning, 3 colony traps down here in the creek. And huh?
Who did?
Who did? I took the kids and Jess. We went for a little walk over towards the tent, just the creek on our own property here. Anyway, and put in 3 colony traps. And we'd gone for a walk a couple days before, just kind of scouting. But when we went down there this morning, we had gotten enough rain over the last couple days that the creek was really muddy, and it was hard to see exactly where I wanted to drop them in. But nonetheless, we dropped them in, literally. A couple of them I just had to toss in. Anyway, we're just doing it for the kids. Hopefully they enjoy it and kind of learn something from it. But yeah, not getting too excited just yet, and not too excited about muskrats really. But it'd be nice if we could pick up 1 or 2. Yeah. But yeah, with all the rain coming down now, I'm not sure how high the creek's going to be in the morning, which could make it a little bit difficult to try and find those traps in the morning. And hopefully they're still there and not washed away big time. Okay. Have you heard much from him about the course there, Wyatt? Hopefully you can get that going so that you could get in on this season maybe, eh? But yeah, so that's the only traps I got out today. I was hoping to get out some coyote traps. If you guys have been following me at all, we've been doing a little bit of work on our footholds. Actually, the one video isn't even out yet, but we spent a morning and boiled and waxed the footholds and the stakes. And I also boiled up a bunch of, well, actually, I boiled all my snares up. So all that stuff's ready to go. I am 100% ready to go lay some steel and get some snares set, but now I just got to find some time. So I was going to put out a few footholds there today, but we're going to be doing up our steer, killing our steer and processing him tomorrow. And I let him hang in the same garage that I do all my trapping stuff. So I didn't really want to put out a bunch of traps today and risk catching some coyotes in the next couple days and then having to do them outside, because obviously I'm not going to want to do them in the garage with the cow hanging in there. So just cross-contamination kind of stuff. Yeah, you better get on that, buddy. But yeah, so we're totally ready to go. Now, like I said, it's just a matter of getting this steer done up, hung up tomorrow, and then we'll probably let them hang. I'm thinking at least a day, if not two. We're not sure if we're going to do them up Friday or Saturday. But either way, once he is done and out of the garage, I will be able to go and start setting some footholds. I don't always run footholds. Some years I only run them strictly in the winter. Some years I don't run them at all. Just because of where I am, you got to check them every 24 hours. So I don't know, it's just a pain. But this year I got a pretty good itch to get out there and get after some coyotes. There's been coyotes howling literally every night for the last probably 2 weeks, starting at dark around 8 o'clock and right through. You still hear them throughout the night. Like, it's just unbelievable the amount of coyotes around here. So I'm getting pretty excited to get out there and get after some, not to mention they sound incredibly close, which we aren't overly excited to have with the goats and chickens and rabbits and everything around. So, but yeah, so maybe Saturday or Sunday, hopefully I can get some footholds out. Looking to put in some dirt hole sets and just things like that. I've never really done too much for flat sets or P-posts. Usually when I run footholds, it's in the wintertime and I'm doing my haymound sets. It's most of you guys would know. But this time of year, I usually try and stick to just regular dirt hole sets, which this year I want to try putting in like a fair size hole, 6-8 inch hole, and however deep, I don't know until I get out there and try it. But I'd love to try and do something like that, kind of boulder set, if you will, and throw like a chunk of deer meat down in there with so it's same as dirt hole set, just the hole is going to be a lot bigger. I'd still put urine around it and some gland lure in that. But anyway, that's kind of my thinking anyway. I'd like to try a couple of those sets and see how it goes. And I normally run drags on my footholds, but because of where I'm trapping, it's pretty much just agricultural land. So other than the fence lines for them to get tangled up in, there's not a whole lot. So they can go literally hundreds of yards, if not more, without getting caught up on a drag. So that's why this year I opted to try the butterfly staking method, where you cross stake anyway, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, that, and I like the idea of putting trap kind of, out in the open and having a coyote bouncing around. I don't know. I've done it before and it looks really cool. Just nice walking up and seeing a coyote out in the middle, not tangled up in brush. Anyway. Wow. Yeah, that sounds like some sweet setup there, trying to go after those coyotes, man. When you get them coming into the barnyard like that, it can be some easy trap or hunting, that's for sure. Hey G, how's it going? But yeah, we're definitely getting the itch. We put out another deer carcass there today. My brother was successful. He shot a doe. What was it, about a week ago? Closer to 2 weeks ago. I think it was like second day of opening, so it would have been around October 2nd that my brother shot a nice big doe. So we had that for deer bait. We had that for coyote bait, so that went to one of the bait sites. Right now I'm baiting the Sand Pit, Jordan's, and mine. I haven't baited at my brother's place because obviously he's still deer hunting in there. And most of the landowners that I trap on their property, they would prefer that I stay out of there until after rifle season, which is the second week of November. So, yeah, so I'm going to stay out of my brother's place for a while yet. I got to talk to him exactly and find out exactly when I can at least start maybe baiting in there. Not necessarily setting traps, but some people don't mind if I start baiting. It's just they don't want traps out just yet because they don't want me in and out of the bush, which I totally understand that. So, but yeah, so we got the 3 bait sites going right now. All 3 are getting hit like just crazy, and it's not just birds. All 3 spots I've taken deer carcasses. So like that's like the spine, the chest cavity, all the bones out of the legs, the head, the neck, and like the bones are just totally gone, right? Like, so if you guys have been following and watching the last 2-part series there of the beaver trapping, I had, oh man, I don't even know, like between 6 and 8 beavers that I had for bait there. Beavers I try and stake down or tie to a tree. Otherwise, it seems like the coyotes just come in and haul them off, and then they kind of take them, and it's not like a designated bait area, right? Which is kind of what I want. So I usually try and tie the beavers up to a tree. But yeah, so yeah, all 3 of them are getting hit pretty good, and the one back in our bush is actually getting hit pretty hard. There's some pretty good trails coming in and out. So yeah. You guys can type in the chat there and throw out some stuff that you guys are doing too. What else? I got a dozen new snares that I'm excited to get used into. It's the Seneca Kill Springs, but yeah, getting pretty excited to try those out too and just see how lethal they are. I use number 3 Victor soft catch, and that's just one of the traps that are regulated for coyotes. Now, if you read in the regulations, I'm not 100% sure on this, but under wolf, it says that it has to, I don't have the regulations here, so don't quote me, but it's something like a Victor number 3 soft catch is good enough for a wolf because it's got the center mount swivel underneath. So I think it says coyote on the trap, but anyway, not that I really care, because I mean, you can have them set for coyotes, right? And then you get an accidental wolf, and I don't know, just as good. Doesn't really matter to me too much, but anyway. Yeah, so that's what I use is the soft catch. To be honest, I don't know. I don't overly like the idea of the soft catch, strictly because you literally have like a chunk of rubber on the inside of the jaw, and after you catch like a fox even or a coyote, that rubber, you notice it starts to take a beating, if you will. And I think after like probably 2 or 3 coyotes being in that same trap, you're probably going to notice that there isn't going to be anything left of the rubber, which, I mean, you still got the steel jaw behind it, so you're not going to lose the animal. But like the whole humane idea of having the rubber jaw, like, I don't know, it's not going to last. And to be honest, I'm not going to replace the rubber mounts on the jaws. Like, eventually it's just going to be a steel jaw, which, I mean, I don't know. It is what it is, but I'm not too worried about that kind of stuff. Well, that's good to know, G. I've seen quite a few videos of guys running them, and it seems like they get the coyote put down rather quick, which would be nice because, you know, the more of a struggle that they put up seems to sometimes rub into the fur and that, so, which isn't ideal. The soft catch isn't mandatory, but it's one of the styles of traps, if you will, that is mandatory. Under coyotes, there's probably, I don't know, between 9 and 12 different types of traps that are legal for coyote trapping here in Ontario. But yeah, the Victor soft catch is just one kind. Like I used to run, what was it? Duke number 2 offset, and I don't think those are legal anymore. I'm actually quite sure that they're not, because that's why I got rid of them and switched over to the Victor number 3 soft catch, because they're a good trap. They were good and solid, but whatever the regulations just didn't go for that. So gotta have good entanglement. Okay. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see once, because to be honest, like not all my snare spots have good entanglement. So it'll be interesting to see, like, once they hit the end of that snare, right? Once that spring opens up, how much pressure that'll put on their neck. And even without entanglement, I'm hoping that without entanglement, even that it's enough that it'll still put them down. I'm hoping that the lock itself doesn't back off or anything like that. One of my other concerns with the setup was it came, I don't know if you guys know this, but I order all my trapping supplies now from Fur Harvesters Auction. They've got a little store there. So I order all my stuff there, because if you get your supplies sent on the fur truck, when you deliver your furs to the fur truck, you can get them shipped free to you on the fur truck. So I just do that, because I used to deal with Halfords out of, I don't know, one of the provinces out west, and their prices were good, but their shipping was just absolutely ridiculous. Like, just, and it's not like the shipping, it was like the shipping from Halfords. Like, they charged you a retarded amount. So I was glad that I found out that I could deal with Fur Harvesters and get free shipping, more or less. So the only thing is if you need something, well, then you got to pay for shipping. But if you can wait until a fur truck's coming, well, then it's a bonus, right? Okay. What ones do you have? Like I said, I've never run before. I'm just hoping that they work out pretty good. But anyway, so yeah, they come, when you order them from Fur Harvesters, you get the kill spring, the and the S hook. And then I think you have to order the, what do you call that? Like the little latch separately. But anyway, it's like a 3-part system, right? You got the spring, the little latch, and then the S hook. So I messaged Ken at Fur Harvesters because I was a little bit concerned. It seemed like the S hook that comes with it, like it's fairly thin. So I called him to, or messaged him there to see just exactly how much weight, and I'll look it up right now and tell you guys. Internet's really slow right now, but I wanted to see how much weight that the S hook could withstand. And anyways, just coming up here right now. So I'll tell you guys exactly. 350 pounds. So the S hooks that come with them are rated for 350 pounds. So to be honest, I've never dealt with S hooks on my snares, so I have no idea what 350 pounds, like I don't know how much a coyote can, bust through, but yeah. And I mean, they're designed for coyotes, so I would imagine that they're heavy enough. The only thing is as you guys know, I do catch the occasional wolf. So I'm a little bit nervous that if I get a wolf in one of those snares, that he might bust through that S hook. But I guess I'll just try and run those snares where there really isn't a chance of catching a wolf, I guess. That, or I guess I'd have to, I don't know, weld the S hook shut or step up to a heavier, dutier S hook, which, I mean, wouldn't be a big deal either way. Rona. But yeah, we'll have to see. But yeah, it sounds like they should be strong enough to withstand coyotes anyway, which is the main thing. Okay, let me just catch up here. I have the Seneca, but just the plain spring. So you just have the spring, you don't have the little keeper that keeps it compressed? Is that what you mean, G? I could order snares from Dakota Line, but I make all my own snares and I get all my snare making material from Fur Harvesters. And I've looked at Dakota Line, but the thing is they're out of the state, so it's quite a bit of money for shipping to get them brought up. Yeah, see, that's the thing. I am worried that they're going to be a pain, those S hooks. The only thing is we don't legally have to have breakaways here, which I'm super grateful for because I don't like the idea of anything breaking my snare. I mean, yeah, okay, obviously non-target, like completely, like moose or deer. Yeah, that'd be great if they could get out of there, but I don't want to have to be restricted on having like a coyote snare that has like a 150-pound breakaway. Anything bigger than a fox or a coyote can get out. Well, when I catch my odd wolf, I don't want that to happen. So I'm definitely glad that we don't have to have breakaways. But on this style of snare, I tried it without the S hook and it's kind of goofy and it doesn't really work. It doesn't slide as good in that. So you pretty much have to have an S hook in there. The only thing is, I guess I could step it up to a bigger one. So you're saying yes, I'm assuming, to my question there about not having the little compressor thing. If you don't have that little trigger, how does your snare work then? You're counting on the coyote compressing that spring and not firing it. I guess it just slowly compresses the spring down. But yeah. Okay. Well, I've got the little tool there that you set those springs with, and I mean, honestly, it's just like, think of it as a mini conibear spring, right? That's exactly what they are. Anyway, I got the little tool there, to set the springs, and then you just flick the little lock around like you would a conibear pretty much, and bingo bango. I mean, she's good to go. Bingo bango, man. So yeah, I mean, I see both ways would work, but I'm kind of excited to see that trigger, you know, once he gets that tight, like obviously that's going to tighten up quite a bit. I forget, somebody I thought said something like 50 pounds of pull has to be on the snare before that spring will trigger now, which is awesome, because if there's 50 pounds of pull right already, that means that snare is already like tight, and then boom, that spring's going to take up like another, you know, inch and a half of cable, right? Like it's going to cinch down that much more. But anyway, we'll have to see how she goes. Just one more. Oh yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, one more thing to have to carry. Yeah, for sure. But I mean, most of my traps aren't set far from the truck really, so I mean, I'm not packing in, you know, far away to go, so I should be pretty good that way. What else? So I kind of wanted to address this, and I don't know how to say it without possibly offending some people, that's not my intent on what I'm about to say. Jess is saying I should keep my mouth shut, which maybe I should, but I'm not gonna. I do a lot of nuisance trapping. That's just part of my gig. So I trap, like you guys watched that 2-part series there of me trapping beavers. That was all for highways and for township. Those beavers, I do not have to skin. And when I'm honestly, the majority of the nuisance beavers that I catch are actually out of season, which is totally legal. And I know it seems like a waste. And honestly, when I first got into nuisance trapping beavers, I was torn about it. I had a big discussion actually with my dad. I was like back and forth, you know, do I take this job? Because as a trapper at the time, I was like, you know, this just doesn't seem right that I'm going to catch all these beavers in the summer and literally throw the whole thing 100%, you know, into the bush, which is totally legal again. But, you know, at the time I was like, I don't know if I should do this, Dad. And he's like, you know, yeah, this seems kind of, you know, weird. And we talked about it, and I don't know if I came up on it by my own or if he mentioned it, but I think it was actually me that came up with the knowledge or the thinking of, if I don't do it, somebody else is going to, right? And I won't give you a dollar amount, but it is really, really good money. Like really good. Like 5, 6, 7, 8, 10 times the amount that a beaver pelt is worth. So anyway, I just figured if I don't do it, somebody else is gonna. So why not it be me, right? Why don't I put money in my pocket? So when you guys see that I trap these beavers, I am not a beaver trapper in the sense. I do not trap beavers under the ice. I don't go after the fur. And that may sound bad to some people, and sorry if it does. But I am doing a job, and I'm just taking the nuisance beavers out. I do take the casters. I do take the top casters. The casters that can pop out of a beaver in literally 10 seconds. They're clean. I clean skin my casters, if you will. And as most of you guys know, casters going for like $100 a pound right now. So I do take the casters out. And the carcasses, they're more or less wasted. Yeah. They do go into my coyote bait piles. So, I mean, they're not 100% wasted, if you will. But yeah, I mean, some of them I feed to the dog. But so anyway, I just wanted to clarify some of that, because some people have I think they've had mixed emotions about what I'm doing, or I've had different guys asking me like, well, how big a beaver was that? Or, how big did that stretch? Or how do you skin all those? And I have to tell them, like I tell them the truth, like I don't skin them, or I don't know how big it was because, it got put in the bush. Like, so anyway, it's totally legal. I can actually catch them as a nuisance in season, and I still don't have to do anything with them. So, and I choose not to. I choose to make my money as a nuisance trapper, and the $5 to $10. Yeah, you could maybe get $20, but not for the beavers that I'm catching out of season or even early season. You're not going to get much for them. So by the time, and it takes me probably close to an hour and a half. I had it down to just under an hour back when I used to trap beavers for the fur, which I used to do. So I know the amount of work that goes into them. But yeah, so it takes me about an hour. My time is worth more than $5 an hour. And I know that that's not why we trap. We don't trap just for the money, okay? Or for the money at all, I guess you could pretty much say. I do enjoy trapping coyotes, and coyotes, I do 100% take their fur. Those I do target for multiple reasons, but one of the reasons is for their fur. I do ship their hides. I put them up myself, and in my mind, they make me enough money that it justifies me going after them. But the beavers, I've got no interest in spending an hour to an hour and a half putting up a beaver and making $5 or whatever. So anyway, for those that are watching, thank you for listening. I hope you guys understand what I'm saying. But I just thought I should put that out there just so that you guys understand what I am doing with those beavers and why I'm doing what I do. But anyway, that's all. Let me catch up on the comments here. The main thing is where you catch them on the neck. 100%. 100%. I don't know what else to say. I totally agree with you there, G. Bad catches, doesn't matter what you're running for equipment. Bad catches is never a good thing. You catch that coyote, just on the upper neck, boom, that thing's out. Doesn't matter what kind of snare you got. Tubby guy, keep the casters and use the rest for bait. Fur is not worth anything that time of the year or even prime, it seems right now. 100%, man. 100%. Sounds like you understand. Thank you. Glad that. And yes, the casters, 100%, especially right now, man. Like the casters, they're worth their weight in gold, right? Not to mention, I make my own caster lure to trap the beavers. And that's another thing. Man, I got a good run here. I make my own caster lure, which isn't even really making it, because all I do is I have a little blender that I chop up 100% pure caster. And I know some guys, you could cut it with this or you could cut it with that, or you could probably buy it cheaper, which is probably true. But sometimes I go through enough caster that I just don't have time to order or whatever. And when I'm dealing with expensive beavers, to do a job properly, I don't want to try and cut corners when it comes to the lure that I'm using. And I honestly find that 100% caster is the best lure out there. 100% caster. So when I'm targeting these nuisance beavers, I don't have time to dick around, trying different things or whatever. Like I just find 100% caster at a caster mount. That's what gets it done for me. I catch tons of beavers every year that way. So I do 100% caster, and any extra caster that I have, which it doesn't take much for bait or lure, I guess you should say, but and the rest I dry and I ship them to fur harvesters. So anyway, little side topic there. Yeah. That's right, Bull. Somebody's got to do it, man. And it might as well be me. Honestly, it is the best bait there is. Like, if you guys trap at all, you know, beaver meat is literally pretty much, you could go and put a beaver carcass anywhere, and it is going to be gone almost overnight. That's why I have to tie them to a tree, because honestly, within one night, they're gone. They're hauled off somewhere. And I mean, that ain't the crows, right? The crows ain't coming in and pulling a 50, 60-pound beaver through the bush. Like, that's obviously, you know, pretty good critter. So everything does love beaver, man. You settle down over there. Yep. And honestly, like, nuisance trapping is a pretty good gig. If you guys can get your foot in the door with your local like township or roads or whoever, for doing like nuisance muskrat or beaver. Otter's not really a nuisance for the highways and that, but muskrats can be a bit of an issue, but definitely beavers. And then, yeah, if you want to get into canine trapping, if you live anywhere near like agricultural land, and you got guys that are running sheep or goats or pigs or anything like that, poultry farms, man, go and talk to them. If you're looking just for like extra trapping property, if you will, you know, usually they aren't looking for money. Just tell them like you'll take off some coyotes, you know, and they'll usually let you deer hunt or something their property. Like, it's crazy just talking to farmers and getting on there to do a little bit of predator control for them, what they'll give in return to you. I mean, no money's usually traded. It's just one good deed for another, right? But yeah, 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 that is crazy. Well, I mean, I've had like literally like yeah. So going back, my brother shot a deer, so I put that carcass out. Um, my brother's buddy who hunts with him, he shot a nice little spike horn, and so I got the carcass from that. And my brother-in-law dropped off a doe that was hid out on the highway that he found, so he threw that here, and I put those all three of those out. And yeah, I mean, that stuff makes awesome coyote bait. I love setting up bait piles, man, because once you get them established coming in there, it's crazy. Um, yeah, so maybe jumping over to maybe a little more hunting talk. Been out bow hunting twice now. The first time I made a little video there, you guys could watch that, or maybe you already have. Apparently I need to wear my glasses more often, because yeah, I think that was a pretty decent little buck that actually came in. I don't know how well you could really see on camera, but we could zoom up a little bit on the computer, and it actually looked like it was maybe more like a 6 pointer. So it was actually a decent little buck. And then the second time I went out was just this past Sunday morning. Game cams after I got on my stand for the morning hunt, which I didn't see anything other than a coyote. All of a sudden he was just there. He was like 50, 60 yards out, and he was heading away from me. He hadn't winded me or anything. He was just walking away. I let him get in the bush, and I grabbed my distress call out of my bag, which I always have with me, and started blowing on that, but he never came back out. So anyway, it was just a fun little experience. But I checked the game cam after I got out of my stand, and there was, I don't know how many does and fawns. Pretty much every hour all night that night. I had gotten into my stand at like 5 to 7, and the last picture of a doe at the bait was like, so I got in my stand at 6:55. I think the last picture was like 6:37 or something like that. So literally like 15 minutes or so had gone by, and then I showed up. So no wonder that nothing came out that morning. Because I mean, they had been just feasting all night. Yes, G, I can bait deer here in Ontario. So I actually picked up. There's a guy that sells carrots here, and so I actually picked up a tote, like a huge tote sack thing that you got to lift with like a tractor. It literally weighs probably over a ton, over 2,000 pounds. I got a tote of carrots for 120 bucks, which to me I thought was pretty cool because, I mean, we usually pick apples, or Jess will pick or plant beets for me or whatever. But we always usually end up running out partway through the season. And honestly, it's just part of like a hobby, right? Just I enjoy going out and baiting deer at all the different tree stands and setting up game cams. And so now it's almost like an unlimited supply of deer bait, right? Like I've taken out, I don't know how many different 5-gallon pailfuls to all the different tree stands. I could probably try and figure it out. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. Probably like 14 5-gallon pails. And honestly, it's barely put a dent in the pile. Like, it's crazy the amount of carrots that are in that sack, man. Hey, Team Ambush, how's it going? But yeah, we can definitely bait deer here. Whereabouts are you, G? I'm assuming you're down in the States, but just wondering whereabouts. Yeah, it is a great deal, man. Honestly, like, we used to buy carrots by the bag at the local store here, and I think it was like 10 or 15 bucks a bag. And I mean, they're probably, I don't know, 50-pound bags or whatever. Like, but we go through like 2 or 3 of them in a season, no problem, obviously. But I mean, we kind of ration more, and it was like, you know, you kind of felt bad taking out so many carrots at a time or whatever. So yeah, so to me, it was like I could spend, you know, 50 bucks a season and get like a small amount of carrots, or I could get $120 worth and literally be feeding them like Jess has been feeding them to her goats. And I literally put pails and pails out at each stand. And like I said, I still got enough. I'm sure it'll be definitely enough to last me right through December. So, yeah. You know what, Wyatt? I used to put out corn too. I had a corn feeder until a big black bear came and ripped it down and actually stole the hopper. To this day, I never found the hopper back at my tree stand there. But yeah, I used to do the whole corn, and man, you go through a lot of corn. But the thing with the corn is a lot of birds, man. A lot of birds, a lot of squirrels, a lot of non-targeted coons, you know, things like that. And that's what I really like about. I like apples too, but really carrots. Nothing else eats the carrots except for the deer. So that's one thing I really do like. If you put out 50 pounds of carrots, you're literally putting 50 pounds of bait for deer out, right? You put 50 pounds of corn out, man, that stuff's gone in like a day. Every blue jay, every squirrel, every raccoon, everything's coming in, right? And eating that stuff. I mean, the deer are too, but it's hard to, yeah, it's definitely hard feeding corn, I found. Bismarck, ND. What's ND? North Dakota? North Dakota must be. Yeah, same here, Wyatt. We don't get a ton of bears. But it seems like once you do get a bear in the area, he's pretty much there to screw with you until he's either tired of you or you run out of bait. Just seems like one of the things, which, I mean, they got to eat too, so not a big deal. Friggin' Blue Jays. That's right. Friggin' Blue Jays. And then that's the other thing. Like, it'd be one thing if you're feeding the Blue Jays, but then to listen to them all morning, you know? Oh, yeah, or the squirrels tromping through the bush. Every squirrel that comes through, right? it's the 12-pointer. Like, so, I mean, you got corn out there, and it's just 2 or 3 12-pointers coming in every time. Biggest red squirrel you ever did see. We use peas. Oh, yeah. Now, how are the peas? Do you find that, I mean, obviously the deer would eat them, but how do you find that with other non-targeted animals, let's say? Like, do the birds and squirrels and the raccoons and that come in for those too, or do you find that it's pretty good just strictly deer? Just set up some dog proofs after deer season double duty. Nice. Yeah, that's exactly what you'd have to do. I've got, what did I get? One picture had 5 or 6 raccoons. I did a corn silage job for a farm here, and I asked the farmer when we were all done taking the, I think there was like 80 acres of corn that we took off. When we were done, I asked him if he'd mind if I went around and got any of the corn cobs or corn stalks that we'd missed or that were laying down or whatever. And he's like, "Oh yeah, go and have at her." So when we were all done the job, I took the truck right through the field, and Jess and I and the kids, we picked up literally a truckload of stalks and corn cobs and everything. Right. So I've taken out an armful to my bait pile there at my tree stand, and anyway, I got pictures. I got one picture of, I think it was at least 5, if not 6 raccoons in one picture frame on this pile of like corn stalks and that. Like, it was just, it's funny, man, because like we've got enough raccoons in the area, but not like, I mean, that picture would be so common in some of the states and that, like, they wouldn't even think twice. But for this area, like, to see 1 or 2, 3 raccoons in a picture is pretty major. But to see like 5 or 6 is like pretty uncommon. So it's pretty interesting to see that. But yeah, that's what Jess was saying. She's like, "Why don't you set up some raccoon traps back there and get some of those?" Yeah, I was kind of thinking that, but I don't know if it's just me or what, but I was like, man, if I catch a raccoon at my deer bait, like, how much is that going to affect the deer, right? You know what I mean? Like a raccoon bouncing around in a trap back there. So I was like, I'll just hold off and not do that. But it definitely crossed my mind. Oh, that's good. That's good. That it's just the deer. That's one thing that we don't have around here is magpies. Magpies? They're like white and black, and they're smaller. Yeah, I think they're the same. The one guy that I've only ever really seen on his videos and that deal with magpies is Dwayne Lazar, triple nickel trapper. But actually, I haven't seen too much for him lately. Sorry, guys, I'm just reading down the chat here. Hardcore Canuck. Welcome, brother. How's it going? Man, you guys are typing faster than I can read. I can't read very fast, though. Dwayne has been working a ton. I've seen a few of his videos there on Facebook and that of him. I forget the town that he works in there, but yeah, doing a bunch of his steam fitting in that he does. And if I'm not mistaken, I thought I heard him say or somebody say that he's not able to trap this year. So I kind of wanted to get chatting with him there to see. That would suck. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna watch? Dwayne.
You're not gonna be trapping either.
Why? Yeah, I'm trapping this year. You just never mind.
You could take your boy with you.
When the magpie is coming to the call, the coyotes aren't. Oh, is that true? Yeah. Well, that'd be kind of nice in a way, right? Almost like a little pre. He's coming anyway. Now, when you say bull, are you talking moose? I'm assuming moose. Could be elk, but I'm assuming moose. That's awesome, man. Good luck. Hope you catch up to one. My brother, he lives in Sudbury. He's been out moose hunting a few times. And again, I don't know if season's on or not, but just again, we're natives, so it's cool. It's all right. Actually, he had an experience there, not this past weekend, but the weekend before. He took his kids out with him, and they were sitting in the bush, and they had another native just down the road, like 100 yards, ended up shooting a bull moose, but there was a cow with it, and the cow took off and came running right by him and his kids, like 6 yards away. So he said it was quite the experience. He enjoyed it. The older kids enjoyed it, but the two younger ones, not so much. So. Black bow hunted for black bear in Manitoba. Okay. Did you do that with an outfitter? That's one thing I'd love to do is get a black bear. I would love to get a black bear. We had a black bear here hanging around a few years ago, and it had a great big white V on his chest. And I don't know that much about black bears, so I sent some videos and pictures to Trapping World. Oh, what's his name? Anyway, the guy that runs Trapping World, because he used to or still does guided bear hunts or whatever. Anyway, and he told me that he figured that bear was right around the 500-pound mark, which is pretty big. So yeah, I wish I would have went after him and got him, but anyway. Last you had heard there wasn't a verdict yet. Oh, okay. Okay. So, well, hopefully there isn't, and hopefully it comes out good for him, because man, that guy does some awesome trapping and awesome videos. I love watching his videos in the winter. Bull moves, okay. How come you're not gonna be trapping as hard this year? Wow, that'd be quite a bit of work, eh? Putting in bait stations for black bear guided hunts, man. Okay, he did have an outfitter. Oh, and it was a flying. Wow. Did you have any luck getting one with the bow? Exactly, man. Honestly, that's what I think. Like, as outdoorsmen, like, it's crazy how close we are to losing our privileges, right? Like, it's crazy. It's kind of scary. How quick it could be over, eh? Just over, and like you said, miscommunication. Like, he was, from what I understand, like, Dwayne was just over the line, and it was an honest mistake. Like, yeah, it's too bad. It really is too bad. None of my first. Oh, okay, I got you. Man. Yeah. Oh well. Get out there and do some hunting and have some good luck doing that. What? Yeah. Oh, so we've been chatting a little bit just within our family here about this upcoming rifle season. And what I mean by our family, I mean like my dad and my brothers. Because we don't know what's going to happen this year with rifle season. Rifle season is like the second week of November. And with all this COVID stuff going on, we're not sure what's going to happen or exactly how that's going to work out or if it's going to happen at all, which really sucks because our camp has been going every year for, what is it, 32, 33 years now. And this would be the first year that we would end up missing, which really, really sucks. Like, really sucks. It hits hard for me, guys. I've been going since, like, I was a kid. You know what I mean? And it's honestly the one time a year that I, like, look forward to, like, big time. Like, it's honestly, it's probably bigger than, like, trapping season. It's yeah. So anyway, I mean, I'm sure a lot of you guys are probably in the same boat, right? Like, where you guys got hunting camps or you guys have rituals that you do that are up in the air this year, just the way cookie crumbles, man. I don't know. Yeah, it's gonna suck. And I honestly, for us, I have a feeling that it's probably not gonna happen. But oh well. Sent 38 beavers myself and sold 6. Brutal. Yes. Yes, that's, what do you even do though, eh? Like, I mean, I sent in, I think, 30 some coyotes, and I think I still got like 20 some, 24, 26, something like that. 22 coyotes still in there. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely not our fault. And to be honest, I mean, it's not fur harvesters' fault. I mean, they're fighting to get, the best money that they can for our hides. I honestly believe that. And I mean, just the world that we live in, right? Between fur not being in as demand as we wish it was, and with just the pandemic that's going on and all that crap. So yeah, kind of out of everybody's hands right now. Yeah, I was up there 5 times and shot 3. My son shot 5, and 4 of them are poking it. Whoa! Wow, that's crazy. 5 times and shot 3. My son shot 5, and 4 of them. Wow, that's a lot of bears, man. That's crazy. That's awesome. Must have been a pretty good outfitter. Yeah, exactly, Abel. Who's going to catch the record beaver if Dwayne can't trap? Oh, man. That guy was pulling out some mighty big beavers there last spring. That's crazy. Oh, I'm losing it. Yeah, that's right. They will pick up the title. Yeah, it's true, man. It is true. We got to watch what we're doing. Gee, can you send me that? You got a link for that video? I'd love to watch it, man. Can you send me a link to that video, either in the chat here, or you can send it to me privately, or even just link it in like my last video or whatever? That'd be awesome. I'm still going, but we don't have a camp. We all stay at. Okay, I got you. Autocorrect, yeah. McLeod, 1960. How's it going? Eastern Oregon. Right on. Welcome. Thanks for stopping by. Okay. I hear you, team. Right on. My buddy is getting a little bit more and more into coyote calling, coyote hunting, if you will. And he called me up. Well, actually, he's not a coyote caller himself. He calls me up and we go hunting together and I do the calling, but he really likes the idea of like long shots. And I don't think he's shot a coyote yet, but he really wants to. And anyway, so he called me up there about a week or so ago, and I'm glad he did because we had a blast. We didn't see a coyote on stand. We called right until dark, and when we got off the stand, we were walking back, and a coyote was actually coming in to us, but it was already too dark. So, and it actually started howling at us, which was kind of a little bit eerie. But yeah, you forget how much you enjoy coyote hunting until you get back out there, and then you're like, oh man, I do enjoy this. It's quite the rush. Like, even though, like I said, we didn't get one on stand, it still was just, it was a blast. And he wants to get out again, and I'd love to if we can, get our times lined up here and get some time to go and do that. That'd be awesome. That is going to hurt hardcore. It is, honestly. They had a bit of a good idea there with having in-country buyers buying for out-of-country buyers, brokers, I guess you call them. But yeah, I mean, how long that can last and how much they can even do that without doing it just strictly online, I don't know. Yeah, it's definitely gonna be interesting to see what exactly happens. Here's my thumbs up. You do wonder how much their warehouse can hold, eh? Before eventually, what happens? I never thought of that, honestly, until I just read that. Yep, it'll be an oversupply of a fur at the warehouse. Exactly. Like, what? I never even thought of that. That's great. What do you do? Like, what are they going to do when their warehouse is full and fur's not selling? Oof, that's scary. Way to ruin my evening. I hunt from home. Oh, that's nice. It is addicting, team. Honestly, that's what I was telling this guy that I hunted with a couple times now, but that's what I was telling him. Like, man, like when you get a coyote like coming in hard when you're calling them, and they've totally committed, it's a crazy adrenaline rush, I find, anyway. Yeah, good luck calling one in, man. Hope you get one, because it's a rush. Look forward to it, hardcore. That's awesome. I'd love to see that the video of you building your new camp. Okay, we'll see you later. Look forward to it. Oh, now I finally caught up on the things on the chat there. Wow. That was a good chat, guys. Okay. I think that's going to wrap it up for us. I don't think there was a whole lot more I wanted to chat about. It had been a while since I had done a live stream. I enjoy doing them, especially when there's lots of you guys on here. It's awesome. I love chatting with you guys. Yeah. What do we got coming up for videos? Oh, we got a sawmill video coming up. I spent a few days helping my dad over on his sawmill there at his house. So stay tuned for that. It's a bit of a different video, but it's actually pretty cool, pretty interesting. Yeah, waxing the traps, getting ready for trapping season. That's coming up. Those two videos are already done, and they're just scheduled. Like I said, we're doing a cow tomorrow. I think we're probably going to do a video on that. A lot of people seem to like the how-to kind of how to kill, clean thing. Cook. Yeah. If you don't know how to cook burger, you probably shouldn't be in the kitchen.
We should do a review on the grinder.
Oh yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so some pretty interesting videos there coming up in the next little bit. And actually, we're going to start putting out some trapping videos. We got, like I said, we already got a couple muskrat traps out. And this weekend, I hope to get out some canine traps. And so, I mean, I'm going to be taking you guys with me the whole way. And yeah, so stay tuned for all that stuff. We're just getting going here, guys. It's a good time of year. And yeah, so stay with us. Anyway, guys, see you later, Team Ambush, Bull, Hardcore Canuck, Wyatt, Tubby Guy Outdoors, buddy. Thanks for stopping by, guy. Bye, guys. 1960. We'll see you guys later. Till next time. Ciao.